had sex with her, the ability to get on that banshee. You understand?
Did Frighteners, I can't remember his name. That's one of Steven Spielberg's buddies. And George Lucas. All of these guys are occultists. Now, your thoughts resonate on the second dimension. There's a black guy, I can't remember his name, spiritualist. He isn't conscious in the classic sense, but he has made contact. He's also a psychiatrist. Basically, what he was saying is every thought you could have ever had resonates on the second dimension. So a lot of these ideas can be pulled down from the second dimension. I'll give you a great example. Those characters from Dr. Seuss were pulled down from the second dimension. So you have a whole world of a guy who's actually going into meditation and give you these characters. Same thing with Harry Potter. This black guy said, I've seen all of those people on the second dimension. Harry Potter. Now, if you need another black guy, Credo Moutoir said, with his interview with David Icke, he said that he's seen Darth Maul in the second dimension before the movie came out. R2-D2, C-3PO, he's seen them all. So George Lucas and these guys, they're actually going into the meditative or dream world on the second dimension to create these stories. Star Wars, all of that's channeled shit. So these things resonate on these dimensions. They said a guy in 16012 could have been thinking Harry Potter. This thing resonates, and someone in that whatever that lady's name is, she can pick up on it and give you Harry Potter today. So the second dimension is where a lot of these thought forms come down. Where the wild things are. That's another one from the second dimension. That whole character scheme. So these things resonate and can be pulled down by these guys, these occultists, looking in that dimension, seeing what's happening, then bring this thing to you.
Now, the first thing you need to do to get on the God level is you got to start conditioning your mind.
Right.
And this is how you condition your mind. Everything that sounds insane, gravitate toward it. Everything that's logical, rational, common sense, throw it in the trash can. And what you'll do, you'll deprogram your mind till you'll start thinking mystical things. You see what I'm saying? Mystical things. Get any kind of sci-fi movie you can get. Any kind of fantasy movie, mystical movie. Even the cartoons, because they're teaching it to their children. And get into it. One of the greatest things you can do is study mythology. Any kind, because it all comes from us. Mutu. Truth sayings. So you want to deprogram the mind to not believe that nothing is impossible. You see. Like they say, technically a bumblebee can't fly. The wings are too small for the body. But it don't know it can't fly, so it flies anyway. See what I'm saying? It flies anyway. Remember you ever heard people say, I grew up poor, and I never thought I was poor when I was growing up until somebody told me so?
Right.
Everything is an illusion. It's only your perception. Because remember now, a project house that we call poor in America would be a condo in Africa. Just depends on your perspective. See what I'm saying? So what you want to do is you want to start deprogramming your mind. Then the next thing here is
we had these fancy gods that could do all these fancy things, but that's where your source of strength was at. That's what you toiled to defeat an oncoming enemy. Was he came to tell you to abandon your imagination. When he told you to throw your gods away, he was telling you to say, fuck off with your imagination. Now deal with my imagination. My imagination is God don't have no girlfriend. God got to be fucking men with wings on, and it's just them, and then he functions through them, and that's it. Ain't no women, none of that. Now you occupy this imagination. Don't you get away from that imagination. I'll kill you. Don't you have no God that's female. Don't you have sex with your gods. None of that. You understand? So you start creating a stultified, slowed down reality that's giving you nothing. And all it's giving the holographic envelope that emanates out of the child's mind. because the mind is the holographic window to time-space realities beyond the third dimension, beyond third, fourth dimension, beyond the physical dimensions of gravity, in the grave, in the prison of prisms, in the light. There is a reality that your psyche, as it's connected to the intelligent carbon in you, that you have a direct conduit to anything. Like you can make anything occur. You can go anywhere. All this talk about aliens and all that shit, we making all that shit into existence. We bringing all that shit into existence. We're doing it one thought at a time. So why do you think that the whole agenda behind creating beings is to create new minds? But check this out. How can I transdimensionally leave the planet if I don't have the physical accoutrements to do it? Physically, if I'm not melanated, I don't have the ability, I don't have a ticket on that joint that could take me out of the planet. Let's start seeing if our people can make a story that don't have the quote-unquote white man in it.